see you finally. So when I met Emraan last, which was before the lockdown, which is nearly 19 months, we were discussing Chehre because you were leaving for Siberia to shoot.
Slovakia. I met you in Delhi in the banquet hall.
Yes, and yeah, Slovakia. And you were...
I was leaving the next day. I was leaving the next day for Slovakia.
Yeah. But as they say, na, चेहरे का चेहरा देखने में काफी वक्त लग गया, पर देर आए दुरुस्त आए. So, and finally, I'm getting to speak to Emraan because he kept telling me, wait till I have a film. And during the pandemic, he's given us 2 films. This is the second one coming. So, I mean, what now? How do you feel it's taken so long? And finally, a theatrical release. So, I mean, I want to ask both of you as creators, I'm sure it must have given some sort of an anxiety also.
I mean, the anxiety is always there when you're putting out films while you're making films. And that's the nature of the business. I think that's one of the reasons I love it so much. A little bit of stress never hurt anyone. So, and in these times, I think, it's very unprecedented times where you don't know what could entail when you put out a film in theaters, because there is this fear in the audience. Also, not all the theaters in the country are open, but still, it's very important to take those baby steps to open up the doors of the theaters and start putting out films there, because films are, theatrical releases are our first love. We've made these films primarily for theaters. And of course, right now, with the advent of OTT, you can enjoy these films on OTT also. But Chehre was first made for the theater with the way it's been shot, the sound design, and we couldn't have it any other way. So we felt as soon as the theaters open up, we put it out there, which we were supposed to actually do in April. When we had a second wave, right then, we had launched the promo, and then the second wave happened. It started on the 1st of April. So we had to pull out. And now we're coming. So I'm just happy about it.
Also a lot of your, in the fraternity, this is both of you have said that on OTT, the good side has been, it just frees you from the box office numbers. People watch your films. You're not bogged down by that initial 100 crore and all. Yeah. Do you also feel that is a positive then theaters, because, it's just the number game that determines your content?
It definitely is. There's a certain positivity there, because when numbers dictate your business, then you don't take too many risks. Because if you are a number person, then you will not try anything new.
Yeah.
If you try something new, you run the risk of failing. I've always done that. I don't have a problem with failure. I do that because I get a certain creative fulfillment from these films. I love the process, and I've always said this. I don't have flop films. I just have some films which are not as popular as other ones. But there's no way of knowing how popular a film is till you put it out there. And if as a creative person if you're fearful, then you'll do nothing new. I mean, there are times in my career where I was giving back-to-back hits, but I was coming back empty from a film set, because I felt that this seems like I'm sleepwalking through a film, because it's looking like the last film I did. It's a character arc of the last film, and I can't do this any longer. So it's a fair balance to hit. But on OTT, you can actually go out there and experiment with a lot more stuff without really getting anxious and stressed out on box office numbers. That's the plus point.
Mr. Pandit, what would you want to say?
Yeah, I endorse what Emraan said. Here, as a producer or as a creator, you get that satisfaction when in theater people are clapping, when they come out of the theater, you see their happy faces, or everyday collection, what is happening with the collection. So that excitement is there. OTT, unfortunately, to producer is not giving any excitement. Second, theater is more like appointment viewing, So you make it a point that, okay, with the family, you're gonna go on Sunday or Saturday, have popcorn or samosa and enjoy the film. Here in OTT, that attention or attention span won't be there. So that's why, I still prefer theater, and theater will be always there.
And I love the trailer. Chehre pe chehra. How good are you at reading faces, Emraan? Chehre pad lete hain?
It's a hit and miss. Sometimes I can read a face very well and know what to expect from a person. Sometimes there are some faces you can't read at all. There's some faces that, even though you know them very well, there's a moment of realization that you don't know them at all. And I think that is the beautiful or scary thing about human beings and human nature. That some people are great at concealing things more than other people. And some people are like a, open book. They'll walk in and the first conversation that you have with them is like you've known them forever. And what you see is what you get. And those kind of people are the safest people to have around you.
I agree.
Because what you see is what you get. I mean, there's nothing, and that's so comforting. But there are some people who, this is a deviousness that is a disguise under the niceness. Those are the kind of people that you got to be wary of. Yeah.
Industry में रह के तो वैसे faces पढ़ना सीख
Oh,
गए.
a lot of them. Yeah. A lot of faces. There are all these kind of faces in the industry. You get all of this. It's a mixed bag.
True. Face reading can be an alternate career option.
I would be more comfortable with a thug. Because I think it's a thug. Right? I have a problem with good, bad people. People who pretend to be good, but there's a hidden agenda, and those are the kind of people you'll be wary of.
So last when I spoke to Emraan was for the body, but seeing your body of work over the past few years, you have an affinity for the thriller genre. So was that again the thrill of working in this film and also sharing screen space with the man they call the phenomenon, Mr. Bachchan?
Yeah, I've actually had this keenness towards thrillers. I just love thrillers personally. And the main draw was starting off with working on Mr. Bachchan in this film. Before I heard the script, I mentally prepped myself that I was on with this. And I know Rumij's, I thought when Rumi Jafri, the director, was narrating it, I thought it was a comedy before he started narrating, because he's written, I don't know, hundreds of comedies he's written. And I was like, what made you think of such a fantastic thriller, this psychological thriller for your film? Because it's just unlike who you are, because you've written all comedies and you've done it so beautifully. It looks like you're a thriller writer. So that's what drew me to it. And of course, the character arc. And of course, again, working with all these fantastic artists. Apart from Amitji, the entire star cast is brilliant. Everyone has held their own in the film, and some spectacular performances.
Was there any moment with Mr. Bachchan, like, a lot of people say, like, Crystal, your co-star told me she had messed up her lines big time, her self-introduction. That's the impact that man's aura has. And we've all grown up watching Mr. Bachchan films. So this is your first time. What was that moment like? Because you all both have confrontational scenes together.
Yeah, I was scared I'd mess my lines up, but I didn't. That's why I worked a little harder on them this time around. I just felt that, I have to get my first shot out of the way, because there's something about the camera rolling, right? The first time on the set. There's something about vibing with the director on the set for the first day, which is, everyone's a bag of nerves. Because no one really knows each other's working styles, but then everything falls into place after the first day is over. And on top of that, the pressure of working with Amitji, of looking at him in the eye and saying these lines. I'm also shouting at him in the film. I'm shouting a lot at him in the film. So that was like, this is unfair. I shouldn't be doing this. I hold him in such high regard. But I think after the first day, he also is a very giving actor. He's very, he makes you feel at ease, which is great.
And also, Emraan saying also the work, and I'll come to Mr. Pandit as well. You've been doing, your characters have shades of grey. They're not perfect. They're not good. They're not bad. Now you're all set to play the antagonist in Tiger. Everyone's talking about that. Is he really going to be bad?
No, I'm not giving anything away about that right now. Right now it's about Chehre. When the time is right.
Absolutely. So, playing these negative shades, which is now a genre you really would want to try. Moving away.
I've never seen these characters with negative shades. If I did, I don't think I can play these characters convincingly. I should be able to actually defend the characters I play. Otherwise, I'll make it look like a unidimensional bad guy, right? So I think the beauty of how cinema has evolved right now is, as we know, art reflects life. Like I told you about people who have hidden agendas these days. Those are the villains. They don't look like villains up front. It's their motives and eventually the actions that make them bad guys. But in my films, most of the times there's always there's a kind of there's some kind of correction in the end, a realization, which I find fascinating. And someone's told me that every time I die in the film, it becomes a hit. Yeah, weird logic. You should die. You should die more often in films. I'm not going to give anything away right now, but this is some stupid logic. Yeah, people have these things that they put on films. Yeah.
And Jate, I want to ask both of your content creators, how we are going to consume content, how the kind of content we create. Is it going to change after these 18 months when we have witnessed an upheaval? Mr. Pandit, I'll start with you.
You're referring to OTT and
no, just content as producers, because Chehre looks lavish to me. But now with OTT, theaters, do you think the stories, narratives, production, everything is going to change? I'm
sure we are on the crossroad actually. The way OTT has emerged very strongly because of the pandemic. But on the other side, I think that this will coexist. The star cast, some of the actors, some of the technicians who are not that great at theaters, they're getting that work at OTT. So now as a producer, before launching any project or making any project, I think we'll have to be clear about it, that whether we are going to take this directly to OTT or to theater. And depending on that, I think we'll have to have our project that is star cast, budget, storyline, everything.
And lastly, Emraan, he's never been a fan of the star system and the grading system. Do you think it has also upended everything?
Yeah, of course it has. I think in a way the star system will always be there. They just make stories and films a little more saleable. But what OTT has brought to the table is that it's given newcomers more of a push. Like right now, you can make a spectacular film or a web show with newcomers and spend mainly on the production of that series or that film, and would still do well on sheer storytelling. Because it's all about stories there. It's about that intimate viewing on the small screen at home. I'm imagining big screen films, big ticket films will become those either tentpole films or comedies or a certain kind of film where people want to a certain release or a sports film where they want to come and enjoy it as we are social animals, so we want to actually go out there and experience something uplifting with an audience, and it'll be as simple as like you want to eat food at home. Or sometimes you want to go out to a restaurant and eat. Sometimes you want to watch a film at home on OTT. Sometimes you want to go out and watch it in a theater. But what would be that film? That no one knows. What kinds of films will run? I think the next 3-4 years will tell. And also, I hopefully, if we're done with COVID in the next probably 2 or 3 years, things will fall into place in theaters. The theater business will come back to how it was 2 years back.
Absolutely. Anyways, all the very best. Put your best face forward, as they would say, since it's Chehre. Looking forward to that and hope to meet you both in person soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, cheers.